All right, greetings, brothers and sisters in Bible land. Bible study day today, Genesis 39. Genesis 39, once again, we have a lengthy study through Genesis here. It's a very long book, first book of the Bible, and we are progressing very well. And we're getting close towards the end. Still got a lot of cool stories ahead. And with that, we're going to get right into it. So Genesis 39. And Joseph, we're picking up Joseph, one of the children of Jacob. And he was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him off the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. So if you kind of remember back a couple chapters ago, we talked about Joseph being hated by his brethren, and he was sold to slave traders because of their hatred. Because obviously God's blessing was upon him, and if you have God's blessing upon you, expect the world to not like you very much. That's just the way it is. And so Joseph is finding this out in a very truthful way in his own family, and that frequently is where that comes from, the hatred. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord had made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. So even in the midst of this terrible situation, where he was sold as a slave and wound up in the land of Egypt, he continues to live a godly and righteous life as a slave, and God blessed him and prospered him. But even as he did this, we're going to see that God's not quite finished where he is at. And an evil situation is going to break out. Joseph is entirely innocent, and yet they're going to try and make it look like he did something bad. But the point being is, God knew he did the right thing. So here we go. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, "Lie with me." So she lusted after Joseph. She was wanting to entice him into an adulterous relationship with her while the master of the home was gone. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, "Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand." In other words, he's probably kind of shocked. "There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me. But there, because thou art his wife, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" So you commit adultery against a man, or you're a woman and commit adultery against your husband and another man's husband by cheating, on him. That is a sin and a wickedness against God. It is a forgivable sin, but there's certain sins that you commit that causes damage in your life that are irretrievable. And but you still have to step up to the plate and admit you're wrong. Because you obviously can't hide that secret upon the mate that you've cheated on. You must be honest. You must step up to the plate and admit your guilt and be honest with that spouse at all costs. You must tell the truth, because God is about truth, and he wants you to do the utmost truthfully, the best that you can. And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. It's kind of an interesting thing. If I counsel a woman, I won't have a private counseling situation with a woman unless there's another woman along, or another man, somebody else, a witness, just to be on the safe side. If somebody says, I want to meet you at a coffee shop, and or at a church, or at work, or at your home, or whatever, then when that happens, I would want my wife to be with me, or a very good brother or a very good sister in the Lord that could be trustworthy, to be a confidant of information that this other person would share. But I hate to be alone in a situation where there's another woman, because it just, by the sheer appearance of appearing wrong, just by the sheer appearance in a bad situation. And she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." And he left his garment in her hand, and fled, and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us. And he came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. So she was a pretty good actress, the Hollywood type. She could do a lot of crying about how hard her life was, and how she was abused as a child, and she was the one trying to commit adultery with another man. And it came to pass, when he heard, that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled, and got him out. So she lied. Obviously she lied. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which he spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant do to me, that his wrath was kindled. Obviously, he didn't know the truth. She was lying to him. What can a man do? You come home, and your wife says, the servant tried to jump me. You would believe him, because you want to believe your wife. But she was lying. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. The false accusation, happened a lot in many theaters around the world, in the World War II, World War I, Civil War, the Vietnam, Korean era, where people were wrongly accused. In this day and age, people were wrongly accused. They're not able to defend themselves. They wind up, suffering the consequences of something they didn't do. And what can you do? But you must continue on in your life. It's a hard burden to bear, very difficult. But you would have thought that this man would have recognized that Joseph was a good, godly, and upright man, and he did everything according to the will of God in truth, and that this would be just absolute contrariness of the way he was living his life. You would think he would say, This is not like him, but that's something that a husband or a wife, or whatever situation that would be, it's kind of hard to swallow. It's kind of hard to know the truth in that kind of situation. But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. God used this great evil to put him in the place where it was that he wanted him anyway. And unfortunately, God used a lot of difficult things in Joseph's life to bring Joseph and his family to Egypt. It was just all part of the plan. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. Even in a prison situation, he was wrongly accused, wound up in a really, really ugly ordeal, and he did nothing wrong, but he still did godly things in his life. He did that which was right. And, it's a difficult cross to bear, that when people lie about you, and we've all experienced that people lie about you, and don't get too wrung backwards about lies. I hate them. I can't stand it when people lie about you and it gets you in hot water, so to speak, and you didn't do it. And I hate that myself. But what you have to do is continue on in faithfulness and just let the lies fall away, because God knows the truth, and that's where we must go. So with that, that's Genesis 39. Hope you enjoyed today. From the Bears Gym. Hope you've enjoyed this brief Bible study. We captured a lot of interesting information, and we're picking up again next time. We're the ongoing saga of Joseph and Israel and Egypt and the whole ball of wax. So with that, from the Bears Gym, God bless you folks, and we'll see you next time in the Bears Gym for more Bible and bodybuilding. So tune in next time, and we shall see you. God bless.